This year, there will be two different types of drummers. Drummer A, who loves learning so much that they will watch as much drumming YouTube content as humanly possible. Then there will be drummer B, who will watch some of the same content, but spend more of that time on the kit actually practicing the concepts. Which one of these two players do you think will become a master drummer first? Well, I can tell you that drummer A is making a big mistake because they're only completing half of the equation, while drummer B has the perfect balance of learning and doing. So currently, drummer B is in the clear because they're doing a good job of separating their learning and their doing. But there is still one huge mistake that they're making that can hold them back big time. Their mistake is that their learning time is very scattered, which in turn is going to make their skill set scattered as well. But if drummer B has a clear roadmap to follow, they will make consistent progress. And that's exactly what we've created for you over at DBO Academy. For a limited time, you can get 15 days free by clicking right up here. Now, even if drummer B has a roadmap, there's something that they can do to make their progress even more effective. And this is where we introduce drummer C. Drummer C is doing the exact same thing. However, they're moving through their lessons slower than drummer B. Now, why would this be a good thing? Well, it's because they are working on making their knowledge deeper as opposed to wider. So drummer C is spending the appropriate time with each lesson, making sure that they are pushing themselves to get higher tempos and get a better understanding of how to apply it to the kit in multiple different ways. For example, drummer B might learn a beat and then simply move on.
I'm good. All right, peace out.
But when drummer C learns a new drum beat, they put it through a creativity framework that allows them to turn one beat into many and start to develop their own style with it. They ask themselves the question, what can I change about this to make it sound like a new beat? Here's a good checklist that you can follow to do the same thing. To be more creative with your beats, step number one is to change the playing surface. All you have to do is take your dominant hand and move it to a new surface. That could be a crash, a ride, a floor tom, anything. Step number two is to change the subdivision. So this just means changing the type of note. So if you were playing eighth notes, you could go into 16th notes. Step number three is to change the beat by adding in a new snare drum note. Step four is to change the kick pattern, and in this case, I'm actually going to take away a note. So let's see what the beat sounded like in the beginning and what the new drum beat sounds like. So unfortunately, drummer A and B did not make it with us. This is a pretty brutal show where main characters can die at any point.
Winter is coming.
But drummer C is doing amazing. They are making consistent progress, gaining a deep understanding of drumming, and building a strong foundation and creativity at the same exact time. But what does their practice routine look like? This is where drummer C needs some work. Drummer C carves out a ton of time for practice, and during this time, they might start off with a warm-up, then watch a few lessons, practice a rudiment, play 3 songs, then practice a new beat, and then watch a new lesson. And they might jam for a while, practice that beat again, get totally lost in playing that they forgot what they were actually doing, then play some more songs, and then their practice time is over. They're still making progress, but there's so much more progress to be made and time to be saved. There is one huge difference between drummer C and our brand new drummer D. Drummer D actually has less time to practice but makes more progress, and the reason for this is they incorporate lessons into their everyday routines, so that way their practice time is dedicated to just drumming. Here's a day in the life of drummer D. When they wake up and eat breakfast, they watch a lesson and take some notes on what they want to focus on during their practice time. Then when they first sit on the kit, they set a timer that allows them 10 minutes to jam and get the release that they've been looking for. Then they set another timer for their intentional practice time. Here, they don't focus on much more than 3 or 4 exercises total. They go deep rather than wide. Then after practicing intently, they reward themselves at the end of their practice time by just letting themselves jam and have fun. Drummer D is absolutely crushing it until something horrible happens. They realize that they've been spending way too much of their practice time learning new fills instead of actually focusing on the foundation of beats and drumming in general. And that is where we are introduced to drummer E, who knows something incredibly profound, that we did not take enough time to name these drummers. But also what they've realized is that 90% of the time as drummers, we are going to be playing beats and grooves. But the disconnect is that so many drummers are spending 90% of their time focusing on brand new fills. Drummer E makes sure to split up their learning time between each pillar of drumming, and they are not afraid to spend extended periods of time on a single exercise. That is because they know that repetition is the key to success on the drums. This is why they will spend 10 minutes on a single exercise at a single tempo to make sure that they are comfortable with what they're playing before moving on or speeding up the metronome. All of this has allowed Drummer E to create an incredible foundation on the drums, and more importantly, they are tracking their progress, their tempos, and time played without mistakes within their journal tool inside DBO Academy. You can click right up here to get your 15 days for free, but remember, it's only for a limited time. Until then, I will see you in the next lesson. Stay true.